The following is a presentation of TFNN. It is now time for the Tiger Technician Hour with your host, Basil Chapman.
Hi everyone, Basil Chapman, Tiger Technicians Hour. My pleasure to be here. And I'm on Monday through Friday, 11 o'clock till noon Eastern Time. Monday and Wednesday, I'm followed by one of the great technicians. A technician who's written some fabulous books, Larry Pesavento, so stay tuned. Of course, I don't have to tell you if you know Larry's work already. But if you're new to TFNN, we have a great program. We had fabulous technicians, Steve Rhodes and Tom O'Brien earlier on. And after Larry comes, I believe, it's, let's see, we've got Daryl. Yep, we've got Daryl, then Dave, and then Ken Shreve. So Daryl Martin, Dave White, and then Ken Shreve, and then Tom O'Brien comes right back in, 4 o'clock till 6, wraps up the day. So just wonderful technicians each. This is what's so beautiful about TFNN. Each with their own techniques. We all have our own techniques. We follow them, had good success with them, and we have market letters. If you go to the front page of TFNN, you'll see my opening call. Very comprehensive look at the markets. Every day, look at all the different indexes, what the levels are that you should look at, what the techniques are that I love to teach to my subscribers, that we will look at intraday. I always say, intraday, if such and such is happening, maybe there's a specific, I don't have a specific time that's constant every single day. It'll change depending on what's happening in the market and what I perceive are levels that we are reaching whereby they should be hit at a certain point or not. So it's a very comprehensive. Plus, of course, we've got my Traders Corner. There's some great calls in there. And I follow those every single day. And there's very often new positions put on, or we're adjusting, or we're adding or subtracting. We're doing different things. So it's a, as I say, it's a comprehensive look at the markets. Now, I want to go through something. I told my subscribers this morning, my opening call, the Traders Corner, which goes out about 8:35, 8:40 every morning. That's the final thing out of the 6, 7, 8 or more charts that I send. I said, the number of times lately that the indices have reversed leadership, a sign of is the number of times lately that the indices have reversed leadership a sign of increasing selectivity. Remember, we've seen the Dow diverge a great deal. The other day, the Dow was up 150 and the S&P was only up 11. All of a sudden reverses. Yesterday, the S&P was up 8 something other, and the Dow was only up 30, and then it weakened. So we've seen this going on for quite a few weeks. That's telling me about the rotational aspect of the market. Now, and what I said, so it was the first part of the paragraph. The second part says, in today's show at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, I will discuss politics, faces/gestures, hats, autos, Red Sox, Patriots, interest rates, 2007, airline fees, taxes, and oil. And as you know, I do lightning rounds periodically here. If you don't think I can do that in a brief time, you watch this. Number one. What's number one? Politics. The political situation right now is such that I would not be surprised, and I mentioned this at the end of yesterday's show, that it is not the substance of what is being said tonight that is going to have the greatest impact. It is either a gaffe or a tremendous success, but more importantly, it is facial display and body gesture, hand and body gestures. Let me explain quickly what I mean. Romney has this way of getting into this Cheshire cat look when something's either been said about him that is negative. It's kind of a little grin, and he freezes up rather than just looking straight ahead, either at the camera, and I wouldn't look at my opponent. Why look at him? He's there, he's there. Look at the audience, or look at the camera. and keep a very straight face. And only give those smiles when they're absolutely needed. And be succinct. And don't attack, but answer distinctly. And when you do attack, you've got to attack in a very short, brief. We still to this day don't have jobs. Remember, I've always said, every political slogan that I've seen over the many years I've been looking, decades, if you don't have jobs, or no new taxes, or whatever it is, you 3 letters. The country can't take in more than 3 letters. If you can make it 2, it's even better. Happy days, whatever it is. That to me is absolutely imperative. For Obama, it's absolutely necessary for him to say, get out of this this attitude of the 1%ers. Talk about what's happened. The Dow and the S&P are within 7 or 8% of all-time highs. That's 2007 highs. The home builders have come back. Talk about what's good, for goodness sake. That's what you need to do. And don't get your boss good, hey man, loose attitude. Be a president. You want to make a joke, you get a joke and you go on. As if anybody's going to listen. Well, I thought I'd get that out of the way. And why? Because you'll be surprised how much visualization. Remember Nixon, when he started to perspire on his lips? Gone. Well, of course, the press at the time also favored Kennedy. And Kennedy was a good-looking guy, bright guy. We'll never know if he was going to be a great president or not, but a great icon for the time. I remember being in South Africa. I remember exactly what happened, where I was the afternoon. It was afternoon there when I heard he was shot. So, yeah, that's the way it is. Next thing. So that's faces, gesture, hats. Over the 8 years or wherever it is I've been here at TFNN, I've often spoken about my market line trends watch section that I used to have for my clients in the mutual fund and hedge fund business when I used to do that back in up until the early 2000s. And in that, I used to just put in a 2-line or a 1-line. We have a very famous newsletter writer right here in the Boston area, greater Boston area, who used to just get the service for that. That's all he wanted to know. And that's where I would talk about major housing tops. I talk about the Qs, the NASDAQ probably about to make, and then having made in March of 2000, the greatest top of all time, that it'll never see those highs again in my market history. Hey, we'll see if that's going to be or not. But that was it did drop 80-something%, so I think that was a pretty good call. So those are the things. I talked about clothes. I talked about automobile engines, that the size of the engine and the front end, you remember in the 1960s, for those of you around, the front end and the front bumper and the rear bumper weighed about as much as the car. That's a period of excessivity. Well, if you don't think we've reached, even with the so-called Greatest Depression since the 1930s, if you don't think we've reached a period of excessivity right now, Northeastern is going to knock down the YMCA on Huntington, right next to the Newton Conservatory, to build a 17-story dorm in the period where there's a good chance that within 10 years, a huge chunk of education will be done online. Yeah, they can do it there, but how many people will start to do it part-time online? And they won't need these buildings. All right, so that's that. Hats. I'd spoken about this about 3 years ago. I said, we're going to go, you've got CEOs who are the wealthiest people in the world who get interviewed and they've got a T-shirt on and short pants, or a T-shirt on and jeans. What's interesting, the whole jeans phenomena and sneakers has matured into the mature age group. Look around you. Most older people, not elderly, but older people are wearing jeans and sneakers when they go out. Young people are stopping to do that. And we're going into a period, and this is a period that is really important because there's a mix of the 1950s and there's a mix of the 1930s here. I have now finally concluded that I've got the picture locked in my head. I'm hoping that by the end of this week I will send to subscribers a paper, and that paper is going to outline what I'm looking at based on the S&P 500, the chart formation, and history. Hats. So hats, I believe, will be back. You know, there's pictures of the guys running into the water in the 1930s with a hat and like a full suit, bathing suit with the top and the bottom, the stripes and all that, like a convict. It's going to be back at some point. So excessivity means that we could also be going into a Victorian age. I've spoken about this a lot. There is not a single show now that doesn't use cuss words for everything on TV. TV is the last one to get it. They always get it way late, and then politicians get it even later than that. Why are they legislating all this stuff now when the banks should have been legislated? The 1932 regulations were unlegislated from the Clinton times. They should have been watching like a hawk. They should have been tightening. The Fed in 1990, I remember being quoted in Barron saying, this is where the Fed should be tightening. Up till now, Greenspan's play the interest rates like it was a Stradivarius. But now comes the squeaking, and he should be tightening to stop the run. Anyway, I'm not sure it would have worked, but that was my suggestion. Now, this is what I'm going to add to it. Autos, I spoke about that because engine size is huge. There was a sellout for a new Porsche that cost, I can't remember if it was $500,000 or maybe $1 million. I don't know what it was. It was just, they sold out. And I wrote in my article, the headline, I wonder if I can find it here, because it goes with that skyscraper discussion that we had the other day. Nope, it's not here. Elliott Wave Theory. I've got the other book. I've got Tom's book right here. I've got Larry's Trade What You See. Oh, Psychology of Investing. I think today it's worth it. I'm going to be following this probably on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm going to do a lot more than that. But I want to read something to you. It's there. It's on TFNN, the education section, under the university section. It says, the stock market hysteria still to come. Basil Chapman, Chapter 11. I thought it was 13. Chapter 11 of the Psychology of Investing, published in, whenever it was published, let me just check. Published in 1999. And what I said was, this is a paragraph quoted from 1986 or 87. I think it was 87. This is the article that was sent to Barron's, too bullish to print. But I mentioned Kate Welling really wanted to print it, but we didn't. The mega bull market, the stock tickers at McDonald's, record high sculpture skyscrapers, 250 mile per hour luxurious grand touring cars, 4,000 passenger ocean cities to nowhere. As the supercharged Dow accelerates to ever-increasing record highs, most of the socioeconomic parallels of the mid-1920s point to a mega move in the Dow just beginning to unfold. The seeds of the surge into the decade of the mega trends have already been sown. Chapman Market Line, summer of 1988. All right, so I think we've covered most. Red Sox and the Patriots. I'll talk about that when we get back. We'll be right back.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investments, and whether you're bullish or bearish on Chinese stocks, the ETFs from Direction Shares are there to help you magnify your perspective. Bull ETFs for a rising market and bear ETFs for a falling market. Direction Shares gives you the tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor, Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Carol Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
80% of traders fail because they don't know when to get in or out of a market, and all because no one taught them how to read the signs. You see, the stock market has a universal language called Japanese candlesticks, and each day, the buyers and sellers, the bulls and bears, go to work and build signs. This language has been around for thousands of years, and it's easy to learn. I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of the Money Masters Show, and I'm a master sign builder. Download my free report, Candlesticks, The Speed of Trust, on the homepage of TFNN.com for one of the best-kept candlestick secrets. I'll also be conducting an online course Friday, October 19th, to teach you the language of the market's sign builders. You'll learn the best entry and exit techniques and strategies that will create extraordinary rewards. The course will be archived so you can review it as many times as you like, because trading or investing without learning this language is like running a red light. It's an accident waiting to happen, and there's no airbags or seatbelts. All the details are on the homepage of TFNN.com.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportions of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what an asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Wealth Management financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, LLC. Member SIPC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free, for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by BackTech Environmental. For more information, just click the BackTech banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi, folks. We're back. Basil Chapman, Tiger Technicians Hour. The Dow is up 45 with 13,527. I would also mention to subscribers that I expected a fairly narrow range-bound thing, and I'd shown it in my E-mini chart that I always give. A couple of, let me just run the numbers. So the Dow's up 42, S&P's up 2.8 at 1448. The comp index, after the APS or whatever it's called, I never remember, ADP economic report this morning, you would have thought that that's non-farm payroll was up sharply, that the market will respond better. I think this is holding back here. So the S&P is up almost 3. The comp index is up 15 at 31.35. Gold is up 480 at 17.80. The silver's up 12 at 34.7. And we've got high-grade copper down 240 at 377. I am really following this very, very closely. Talk about bonds in a moment. Crude oil is down 280. I've got a chart here that I'm going to show you at 89.04. Let me do that right now. You can look at this chart while I'm going off for those of you looking at Tiger TV. And most importantly, you've got bonds. And bonds are really only down a half a point to 149.50. Now, there are a couple of things I wanted to add here. So you remember that it was a year, I think it was the summer of last year, I had said that everything I looked at in my Trends Watch section, the thing that I keep in the back of my mind, that I always make notes of, mental notes about, said that based on the activity of the owners of the Red Sox, the number of times I haven't been to a Red Sox game in years. Because I don't even know the players' names. I'm not proud of it. It's just the way it is. from everything I'm reading, the number of times the word Red Sox has been in the newspaper without it pertaining to the playing said to me that the Red Sox had made a major, what I call the peak F top in the ChapmanWave, meaning it was a serious leg 6, that it was culminating and that they would have a very difficult time. This is the Red Sox. And that was the only thing I could go by was the techniques that I've developed, the same as I've developed in my charting of the stocks, that there was an excessivity of information that did not pertain to the reality. And that they built these new boxes and they changed the stadium and all they managed to close off one of the streets. The vendors are very unhappy. Anyway, there's a report by a person who does the reticketing or the ticket, a person who, one of the services where you can buy tickets, says that business is way down. This is besides, after the fact that they're saying they're selling to full houses. Way, way down. And the tickets are between, I think, $47 to $275. Previously, he's selling them either at the cost or much lower for next year. That's, I thought, interesting. And the Red Sox is about to become the second or the worst team this year. So it's just very, very interesting that you can use that kind of information. I hate to say it, and I don't want to point fingers or anything like that. All I'm doing is reporting what I see in the paper and my own interpretation. And as much as I've always respected and admired Kraft, I happen to belong to some place that he belongs to. I've never met him, but I've seen him fairly often. And family, I respect them all. I think that they're losing it. I think that they're not yet in the Red Sox category, but with all that property, the stadiums and the bridges that they want to build and the casinos, etc., I got a feeling they're almost in that same position. I've got no sell signal yet on them, but it's really close. And once again, I don't watch the game. I do when I see these games on TV. I happen to be there. I watch them. So it's just going to be very interesting to watch. Now, the other thing that I think is also something that's quite interesting to me is the interest rate. First of all, let me just show you this crude oil chart. If you're looking at Tiger TV, why I'm not getting it on my Moby. There it is. Go. You'll see that it made a peak D-top. Crude oil made a peak D-top back in July of 2008. All my other indicators gave peak Fs, etc. I wanted to give subscribers a short, and I thought, I haven't got a confirmation yet in the monthly until after it started tanking. I suddenly realized, there was a ChapmanWave phantom peak at 120.29 to 120.78, July of 2007 to August of 2007. Once I got that confirmation, it was really easy to say, great. Sell mode, Eiffel Tower pullback is one of the technical terms that I teach, like a capital A, breaks under the 200 period moving average below 99.25, goes where? To the low of 2000, the February of 2002. It's 73.79 on the continuous contract. Remember, continuous contract, you have to keep changing. It changes all the time. But the price is that date. And it goes to a peak F top on the 120.19 in May, and now it's making the dreaded H pattern. So that's oil, and I'll talk about a few other things. And take your calls, 877-19.
If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now. You've heard Tom O'Brien on the air, and you've seen him on Tiger TV, as well as being featured as a regular CNBC guest and contributor, and now you can have access to his expert trading advice each morning through his daily trading newsletter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, gives traders, investors, and money managers a thorough strategy for trading stocks, options, and indices every market day. Market Insights comes out each market day before 9:30 a.m. and provides traders with Tom's daily commentary, opinion, and specific trade recommendations on the markets. Using advanced Fibonacci methods, volume indicators, Gartley patterns, candlestick charting, gaps, and market timing, Market Insights will give you specific trade recommendations including entry, stop, and exit prices. The summer is over and traders are back. Get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. TFNN and Great Panther Silver have teamed up for another exciting silver giveaway. The Great Panther Silver Halloween giveaway will be taking place at the end of October, and for 3 full days, we'll be giving away silver coins and bars every hour from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. to one lucky winner randomly chosen. There's no purchase necessary. For more information and to fill out your registration form today, simply visit the front page of TFNN.com where you'll find all the details. October 29th, 30th, and 31st, we'll choose one lucky winner that will receive a silver coin or bar courtesy of Great Panther Silver. Winners will be announced live on the air each hour for 3 full days. Don't miss out on this great opportunity to win free silver from TFNN and Great Panther Silver. Register today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com, and for more information on Great Panther Silver, you can click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE Amex, symbol GPL, or on the Toronto Stock Exchange, symbol GPR.
This segment is brought to you by Harmony Gold. For more information, just click the Harmony Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
All right, folks, well, no callers at 877-927-6648, and I really would like to get some international calls at 727-445-1044. Sounds like an income tax form, 1044. I love it. It's evening time. You're relaxing. You're surely listening to TFNN. Who doesn't listen to TFNN? Love to take your calls over the coming days. Today would be a great day. Let me just finish up with this. So, airline fees. They've set a precedent. They took a tremendous gamble, and they went for it, and the fees went up from $15 for a case, a cup of coffee. All of a sudden, that's the thing. When you look at your if you look at the taxes and fees and all the rest on a slip from your gas station, you'll see there's a particular, and then the fees just go on forever. When you look at your airline ticket, the actual airline ticket used to be pretty much, you go to JetBlue and you look, it's like $35 or something. No, not 35, maybe $55. And then they just add, That's the way it used to be. So I think that's setting a precedent. The fees are gone exponential. It'll stop at a certain point. But that is there to stay. The precedent of fees, they will not take that away. They'll take some away, but some will stay as core. That will be the template for airlines. Well, wait a minute. When you look around, you say, what would be the next thing? Well, we've spoken about this before. I have. There's no question in my mind that the internet, we will one day pay for all these little services. We used to pay for telephone calls per minute, and then that dropped off. That'll come back. It'll go through the internet, and they're going to rack it up, and that'll come at a very difficult period when it's most difficult for people to pay it. The cell phone and all the rest. I can see a big drop-off in the number of cell phones and number of calls. It'll still be there. Anyway, that's looking out. That's trend lines. And oil. I showed you the price of oil. That is a tax. If oil can continue down, all the talking tonight about this and that and this and that, oil is a tax. And a big tax because it affects almost everyone, whether it's heating oil, driving, transportation that you take that you're not, it isn't your automobile, but it's a bus or whatever. All right, we've got all that out the way. We've got questions in the den. Wonderful. Get back to the market. GDX is the first one. Let's get into the... bonds, I just want to... This is the 24-year bull market. That's a 30-year bull market in bonds, but... this is the 24-year channel. The bonds have gone above until there's a continuous contract. Until this continuous contract closes decisively under one, it's at 149, almost 150. And the previous high on the continuous was 153, call it 154. Until bonds close 2 out of 3 months, decisively under the 9-period exponential moving average at about 146.5, that 9-period moving average so far has been the kicker, the very important propellant for the upside. But the MACD is turning down and the stochastic is turning down. No sell signals yet, and it'll take a little while for them to come about. So in the meantime, it says there can be a pop-up in bonds, but there's probably going to be a limited upside at this particular point because it's more a spiral up and then a sharp pullback to the downside. That's the way this particular indicator is working right now. That could change. Second day, third trading day of the month. So I'm looking at the whole month of whatever we're in, October. All right, enough with that. GDXJ. Coming up, I'm using the black charts because I know that I've got this all in the black charts. No, I haven't got it all there. One second. I knew I'd get that. So that's A. Okay, GDX is the Market Vectors Junior Gold Miner ETF. I believe it's an ETF. I might be wrong, could be an ETN, but let's deal with what we've got right now, price. And the price says the weekly chart is a strong leg peak E up, having held very nicely above the 9-period moving average of 23.31. GDXJ, 24.46 right now, down 9 cents. I want to put this into perspective because it's an IPO that came out. It hasn't been around that long. 2009 IPO'd in November at about between 26 around number open, went to 28.5, 24.5 low, and then it spiraled up to a peak B minus because remember, if it starts late, it only takes the latter part of the waveform that's already underway, like the XAU. The 44.86 high on December of 2010 saw a pullback, a bounce up, right shoulder failure, plummets down, and it goes to a low of 1737. The monthly chart is in leg A up, not peak A, because you have to wait for the whole month to see if it doesn't close above 2567. But 2572 is a 200-period exponential moving average. Oh, and I did want to mention this. We've got a Denner in here whose wife runs a, where it is, qualityhats.com. I haven't checked it out, but I thought that's great. Fitted right into what I was talking about. And a lot of comments here. Nice site. So it's worth having a look at it. So, that's adamant. And so the GDX in the weekly has the MACD at 93% and the MACD up and the stochastic at 93%. That's that middle chart that you're looking at with very nice technicals, price movement commensurate with it, still way under the previous major tops, around about 27 to 30. And the 9-period moving average in the weekly is at 28.31. Now look what's happened. This is the pattern that I'm watching so closely. There was a peak F top in the daily. I'll go through this right now. You can watch me doing this. Let me stretch it out so you can see in Tiger TV. And then you get another buy mode. I'll explain this all. So it goes A, B, C. How many times have you seen, oops, that's not an A, it's an F. How many times have you seen buy modes go to at least a peak D, but they can go to E and F based on the technical factors? That's why learning the technique is just so important. Remember, I'm an advocate. I'm here because I want to advocate for the ChapmanWave, studying the ChapmanWave, learning the ChapmanWave, setting up some nice Master Trader series coming up, and we'll have a lot more information, just getting some final information, because once I went to a 5-day week, I want to do organize it in a very methodical way. So here we are. You made a peak E doji high. It's a gap up. In fact, a little island reversal on the 21st of September at 25.67, gaps down, goes down to 23.07, rallies to a gray A, in other words, it's A underneath the previous peak E. And what's happened? It goes to 25.19, and now it's pulling back. My eye, based on the technical, says there's a good chance that the GDX, if it pulls back and goes underneath 24, doesn't even have to close it. If it goes under 24, there's a good chance it's going to retest very important 23.20 to the 23.07 level. 23.07 was the low. Stochastic's making a W formation, but it's the right part of the W that's still forming. It could still fail and go down and make an H formation, and the MACD is very negative. Let me just quickly look at the, so that was A, B, C, D. How many times do you get peak Ds in the 120-minute charts? Must be hundreds every month. So now look at this. You've got the 120-minute chart went to peak D on the 7th at 11:30 in the morning, makes another peak D on the 21st at 11:30, 11:30 time, 25.67, and here is that formation. Now, on the upside, if the GDX takes out 24.94, it's only 50 cents higher, and it should do that if there's any strength in gold, and I'll talk about that in a short while, then it should retest 25.19. If it does that before taking out the low of 24.23, I'm calling that A, B, C, D, which should go and possibly retest the 25.87. If you ask me right now, what would I do? Based on what I'm looking at in the golds, I have a little hesitation here. I think I would wait for a little. Oh, you could nibble at 24.45 if you're prepared to put in even a 33 to a 47-cent stop. I don't have any problem with that, because I want to see the proof of the pudding of the pattern forming by going down. But I'm a little concerned, and I probably would say I'd hold off right now. I want at least a day's worth of evidence. Maybe we can look at it again. So I'm sorry. The weekly chart says it should go to leg D. I'm just saying on a short-term basis, a bit of a consolidation. I see that in gold. I see the GLD. I see that in SLV. So my preference right now is to say, if you're in it, don't do anything. The level to watch is 23.71. It breaks under that. It's going to retest 23.07. And even then, if you're in it for an intermediate term move because of the power of the weekly chart, I would hold it, and I'd definitely take some off at 22.72, somewhere around there. But in this particular instance, I do nothing. If you're in the position, keep the position. If it's a brand new position, if you want to nibble here, you're going to look great if it suddenly spirals to above yesterday's high of 24.94. But if it starts to pull down, you're vulnerable to this H pattern with the weak technicals of the daily chart. So I hope that helps you. My monthly chart says nothing yet. It's a nice leg A up, but hey, it's only a leg A. You need the weekly to really hold for at least another 3 weeks up in the 90s, 95% area, and that monthly will start to improve. So I hope that helps you. That was for I think it was Goldie in the Den. Yep, Gold 25. Trigger wants to know about the DDS. DDS? Well, I haven't looked at the DDS for a long time. Oh, Dillard's. I used to have this all notated. Great, because it's part. I think it might be part of the retail. Have I got that right in front of me? The RTH index, the retail. Let's see. Have I got? Oh, I've got the ITB holdings. Where are my REITs? All right, I'll find it, and I've got time right now. Let me do this, because I want to. I'm slowly migrating to the white charts. Let me put DDS here, because Dillard's is a retail store. I believe it's making leg C up. Give me a chance. You know, when I do these charts, I am really thorough. I start right from the lowest low bar. It doesn't take. How long does it take? Doesn't watch me. Here's the monthly chart. Oh, let's check it out. I'm sure that's not a new high. Just where it is. 15. Yep, no new high. So here we go. You've got leg. So the low in Dillard's, I'll tell you what I'm doing. Monthly chart, the low is at $2.50. If I can just find my letter that I just changed. There it is. Change the color to blue. Blue it is. Doesn't take more than a few moments. It's taking me extra time now because I'm doing it on both charts, the white background and the black. I happen to, I keep going back to the black. I just see it so much better. In a second I can see it. So it goes A, B, C, D, E, and lo and behold, does it go higher? It goes F. Now comes the tricky thing. Yeah. Oh, you see, I need time to explain this. I might do that on the show, but this is what I call the ChapmanWave flat base restart. I don't really have time to go into it now, but let me just tell you that at this point I'm going to put the new notation in A, B, C. I'm going to put the other notation A, B, C, D. Without the notation, I would miss something. And let me explain what I'm looking at. If I could find it, I made a note of it this morning on the show. Oh, I put it in. It's right over. So many notes. I know I wrote it in. I won't find it. That's a pity. I had a perfect example of the incident. Was it COV? Let me see. I just want to check, because if I can give this to you, you'll understand what I'm talking about. It's a chart pattern in the ChapmanWave. Covidian. I did it in a different. I did it in white. Oh, I'm going to get so confused with these different charts. It's going to mix. There it is. I think this is the chart. Was it the weekly chart? All right, I'm not finding it. But in the meantime, I'm going to just go right back to your DDS. Basically what the chart says, I always talk about the pattern that is the instant restart that can only occur at peak D in the ChapmanWave. That's the fourth highest peak from the most identifiable low bar. And this fits all the criteria right here for an instant restart. Oh, my goodness, look at that. We've got a whole bunch of people waiting in line. I didn't see that. So let me do this. I'm going to tell you something. On a short-term basis, I think that DDS, Dillard's, like the RTH, is making some kind of a top, but the RTH has had a high-level consolidation, so I don't want to say that it's made the top, but it's making a rectangle formation. How it comes out of it this is the retail index, about 45.71 is absolutely crucial here. How it fails to go, if it goes under 43.50, 44.50 is a bit critical. It's at 45.32 right now. But your DDS, I should ask in the den, did you... Yeah, the IYT in the den, there are a couple of comments. IYT seems to be bouncing here. So, Trigger, my question to you is, are you long, are you short, are you looking to get in? And if the answer is A, B, C, D. So it made a peak D top at 79.23 in the short term. What I'm going to say to you is, I would do absolutely nothing now. If you wanted to go long, I have to say wait for two reasons. The technicals in the daily are poor. The MACD is turned down. Stochastics turned down, but not giving me sell signals yet in the weekly. I think they could. And I suspect I'm getting a possible hat-trick top in the monthly. It's been a fantastic stock. Made an all-time high just last month. But I think it's giving me a signal that says it's going to make an H pattern and then break underneath 71 to go down, fill the gap, which it did today, and then go right through to about the 67s. So don't do anything. And as for shorting, I'd be looking at that probably by tomorrow. So thank you for that question in the den. Now we've got George, Ilke, Freeman, and Dave with calls. Book it to them all.
Recently, Basil Chapman has had some outstanding trades in his newsletter, The Opening Call. Each morning by 9 a.m., Basil uploads his newsletter to the TFNN servers so that his subscribers can access his expert trading advice. Basil gives his take on the direction of key indices and updates any active trades that his subscribers are currently in. Just recently, Basil's subscribers closed out a short position in Chipotle Mexican Grill, CMG, for more than an $86 profit per share, over a 20% gain in just one position. If you'd like to check out Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, then visit the front page of TFNN.com and click Trading Newsletters. There you'll find Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, where you can request a free sample copy. Also, don't miss Basil's program, The Tiger Technicians Hour, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, on TFNN.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Time is the great equalizer of all mankind. Time doesn't care about winners or losers, who succeeds or fails. Time only cares that you played the game. Question, are you playing the money game? Is your money working as hard for you as you are for it? I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, a daily trading and investment newsletter service, and we're celebrating our 1-year anniversary. In year 1, we generated a 30% profit. Plus, I provided 26 hours of live coaching to my clients. My daily newsletter service is available by 8 a.m. each day and covers the stock, futures, currency, and commodity markets, along with all the current patterns that you can trade. Each newsletter is packed with education, and it's yours for as little as $3 per day. And for the next 30 days, you can try it risk-free. Click on my name, Steve Rhodes, on the homepage of TFNN.com and begin your journey to great wealth today. If you're waiting for a better tomorrow, remember this. Today's tomorrow will soon be yesterday, and your clock is ticking. Mastering Probability. Now is your time.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Hi, folks. Basil Chapman, and this is the last segment of our show. Here we are, lightning round. We've got George in New York. Hi, George. How are you?
Basil, good morning. How are you today?
Very well, thank you. You'd like to look at...
TKR, Timken. It's a ball-bearing company, mid-cap stock.
I remember this well because my former partner from way back had it from his bar mitzvah and had kept it, and I always say to myself, wow, I wonder if Andy still got it, and it's gone it went all the way. It's got the Groucho Marx eyebrows in the monthly chart. Back in April of 2011, 57.83, plummets down. Those are the eyebrows. There's the schnoz. Comes right back and goes to 57.94 in April of 2012. It's got an April time frame here. Plummets down, and the monthly chart looks horrible. That's fine. Now the weekly chart is starting to improve, but it's got the H pattern. The MACD and the stochastic are not good enough. I would suggest, and the daily says the same thing, I'm going to suggest, and I know that you look out longer term, but I'm going to make a suggestion. Allow it to go through until Friday. If by Friday it's gone higher than the 39.21 high of the 25th of September, then I'm going to say to you on the next pullback, you could actually nibble at it right now, because all you've got to do is put a stop in at 36.25 below the 36.27 low. But to me, it's just too risky. I've looked at all the time frames. I see it going up. It should be in the area that's really working well. I'm going to say to you, either hold off, but if you really want a veracity, confirmation that it's doing what it needs to do, I'd wait for it to go a little higher, and then the next pullback, if I've seen the stochastic go into the 20% or higher area, and the MACD starting to turn, cross positive, I'm going to say to you, okay, now it's a better chance. I'd hold off.
Okay.
Just for the moment. But it's been a great win. It could be in a big rectangle pattern.
Yeah, and maybe it's now at 2.5% dividend, which is nice.
Well, that is a key factor. I know you're looking at it. But you know what? You lose 2.5% in the capital is no good. So let's get a better entry price.
True.
Thanks for calling, George.
Thank you, Basil.
Thank you. Let's go to Ilke in Boston. Hi, Ilke. How are you?
Good, Basil. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
I know you have very little time. So actually, can you look at it on 4 hours? Because that's where I'm having confusion with your with ChapmanWave.
Oh, so this is ADY, which is FEIHE International. FEIHE International.
The Chinese direct production, yes.
Okay, trading at 627, and it made a low. Okay, let me just do this. A pulls back, restarts. That will be. I'm considering that an A. A B in the, because it's made a lower low, I can quite easily consider that the bar, which you might have not have done, of the 26 at 11:30 and 5:47 starts a new A because it's already established a low. There we go. D. I'm calling this leg E, but it's above the. Oh, I'll tell you exactly what I'm looking at. 120-minute chart has made a leg E. Could be a peak E. MACD is good. Stochastic's very good. I suspect that it's going to pull back because the 200-period moving average is 611. It might go a little higher, but I'm willing to say that within the next 2 days, could be 3 days, it's going to retest 611 unless it decisively breaks above 640, and it's at 627 right now. But if it doesn't do that, that 632 level, 628 is going to be strong resistance. I suspect it will be pulling back, and I wouldn't be surprised if it finds a nice base at about 598 to 594 over the next, I'd say 3 days or so. But it's acting very well, and it's starting to squeeze in the MACD and the daily. So it's a good one to keep your eye on, or if you're trading it, that's good. So thank you for calling, Ilka.
Okay, bye.
Bye. We've got Freeman in Dallas. Hi, Freeman. How are you?
Basil, how are you doing? Basil, I got into Pandora at 10:28 yesterday. Where would you put a stop?
I put my stop 1 penny below the low of today, 10.19. If it breaks under 10.19, it's making the H pattern, and it's liable to go down to the 10.05 to 10 area. It's got to quickly go to 10.91 over the next 2-3 days. This is Pandora. Hey, thanks for calling, Freeman. I appreciate that. Folks, stay tuned for Larry Pesavento. My service is the opening call. Go to the front page, check it out, and I'll be back tomorrow, 5 days a week. Larry Pesavento coming up.